You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
This is episode 751 of the Dressage Radio Show, official podcast of the United States Dressage Federation on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products.
Today, we're celebrating the Olympics with spectators, with riders, and us, the superfans. Anna Buffini shared with us her adventures in Europe while training for the Olympics. Rebecca Hart came on and shared with us her preparations as she packs for the Paralympics. We will talk to Reese about her new business adventure.
This is Reese Koffler-Stanfield in Georgetown, Kentucky.
And I am Megan McIsaac from Oregon, Wisconsin, and you are listening to the Dressage Radio Show.
Hi,
Hey,
Megan. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Oh my gosh. I have been watching so much Olympics. It is amazing. And shout out to Samantha Clark and to Catherine Donworth. We had a watch party yesterday to watch the freestyles. I mean, we did it up. We had a whole spread and we had champagne and rosé. I mean, there's a lot of drinks. There's a lot of drinks. Girls, we had a great time. And we just celebrated. And it was so fun to sit there and watch the freestyles together. And then, of course, we watched all the other sports that were on. Oh, it was an amazing afternoon. I'm just having so much fun.
Where was my invite?
No, girl, you got it. You're always invited. We had
What the heck? I'm jealous.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's been a blast. So I hope everyone's just enjoyed watching it. It was so fun to watch the eventing. I mean, and we got to talk about Snoop. We drop him a few times, but way to Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart.
That was amazing to see him in a shad belly. Both of them in a shad belly.
Oh, their story of it was on prime time. I'm sitting there, I'm like, watching Simone Biles, and I'm like, oh my God, Snoop and Martha are talking about dressage. I think that was just the positive energy we all needed. I mean, I loved it. And just watching the freestyles, it was fabulous. I've been loving it.
What was your favorite freestyle?
Oh, goodness. I mean, that is a loaded question for sure. And we're going to talk to Patty Mayer here in a little bit about it. But Isabel Barrett is just the GOAT. I mean, I'm just like, how does she do that? And Catherine Dufour on freestyle, they were wonderful. I mean, really, they were all good. They really were. I mean, I just enjoyed all of it, really. And I don't know about you, but have you watched any other sports?
I have to say, I love the sportsmanship of the male gymnastic team, the U.S.
Yes.
They were incredible to watch.
Kent.
Yeah, the nerd. He was incredible. And he calls himself that. He was amazing to watch him all day, give water, be supportive. And then when they won, it gave me goosebumps because it was like they won gold. It was incredible.
They won a bronze, but I mean, it was like they won gold. It was amazing. Amazing. So much fun. I was watching archery yesterday, and I think I've mentioned it before on the show, maybe, but I really like archery. Not to like kill anything. I like to target.
It's okay.
And not against anybody who kills it. I just want to hit a target. That's what I want to do.
Have you done it? I did it in high school. It's hard.
So much fun. So hard. So I miss all the time. And when my nephew is so sweet, he'll go retrieve them. I need to get my dog to go retrieve the arrows because I'm not very good. But sometimes on the weekends in the fall, I go and my nephew tries to teach me, and he's very sweet. So I loved it. And it went to the last shot. I mean, it was 10, 10, 10. And then it was a sudden death shootout and the American lost, actually. It was kind of sad. But you were rooting for them both. It was cool. I mean, I've just been watching kayaking, lacrosse. Oh, my God.
Wow.
I have them up in the...
They have diving. Synchronized diving.
Oh, beautiful.
Amazing.
Amazing. I love basketball, so I have to watch basketball. So I mean, really, truly, it's amazing. I just have been having a ball. I truly love the Olympics. I think we all, since we do a sport, that is so hard, we can recognize just how difficult the Olympics are. And I love the sportsmanship. I just love it all. So we dedicated this show to the Olympics. And we will say Patty Mayer is going to come on a little bit later in the show. She literally was in Paris and it was late night. So her sound isn't great. Jen worked her magic. So we hope you all enjoy that. But we're going to start with Anna Buffini, and she's fabulous. And we'll hear her story of training and training camp this summer in Germany.
This Nutrition Minute is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, the company that simplifies your search for research-proven nutritional supplements at kppusa.com.
The horse that matters to you matters to Kentucky Performance Products. Electrolytes. Who needs them? Your horse, that's who. Electrolytes perform critical functions within your horse's body. They help regulate nerve and muscle functions by carrying electrical impulses between cells. In addition, electrolytes assist the body in maintaining a healthy fluid balance by controlling your horse's desire to drink. When your horse loses significant amounts of electrolytes and fluids, problems such as dehydration, muscle cramping, fatigue, tying up, and colic may occur. Even in mild forms, these conditions can have a negative impact on your horse's ability to perform and recover after exercise. Top riders and veterinarians turn to Summer Games Electrolyte to keep their horse healthy in hot weather, and you can too. Summer Games replenishes the electrolytes and trace minerals lost when your horse sweats, and it stimulates the thirst response so your horse continues to drink and stay properly hydrated. So when the going gets hot, trust Summer Games Electrolyte from Kentucky Performance Products to protect your horse.
This Nutritional Minute has been brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. You can find all of their terrific products at kppusa.com.
Well, tonight we are so excited to have Anna Buffini on the show again. International rider, competitor, just came back from competing at Aachen. Anna, welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me back. I love chatting with you guys.
We love it. We've been excited all day.
So excited.
Awesome.
So Anna, where in the world are you now?
I am back home in San Diego in my little haven of my barn and just training away.
Awesome. I love it. But now you were in Europe, right? Because we want to hear all about training camp and what you guys were doing over there and what it means to train at that level, because it's so insane. So I wanted to hear from you how it was.
Yes, it's insane. So I was in Europe from May 28th until mid-July. And yeah, I got invited to be on the Olympic shortlist and to go to Olympic trials. And we tried to make Paris, and we had a big, long summer.
Massive
Yes,
congratulations.
You did. Congratulations. Clapping. It was so cool.
Thank you.
And
Love it.
what does it all entail? Like, how do you plan a trip? Does your coach plan the trip? Does USEF? And how do you manage your home barn? Can you give us a little insight on how difficult that is?
Yeah, it's so many logistics. It's a huge trip. It's a lot of planning, a lot of packing. So thankfully I've been to Europe a couple of years now, so I know a lot of what I need to do, what I need to pack. So I started planning way ahead of time. And basically in January, again, you're hoping you'll make the short list, but you kind of have to plan even not knowing. So I planned all the barns I was going to go to, and then you have to plan the transport because you don't have your own trailer over there. They have 3 or 4 big trailer companies. There's one that's called Gellison, and there's one called Johansson, and you have to call them to trailer your horse. And so you have to basically have your whole trip scheduled out before you even know if you've made it over there. And
I got to know packing. I got to go back to this packing. I was like, how do you pack for that? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, obviously they have washers and dryers and, you can do laundry and that kind of stuff. But yeah, you're not allotted much room, right?
No, it's all insane. So for the horses, you have, and again, the more you pack for the horses, the more you have to pay. So we try to keep it as light as possible. So again, I know a lot of people listening to this are aspiring riders and want to go to Europe, and I believe in you. And so for packing for your horse for Europe, personally, I pack everything that's absolutely necessary, and then things that aren't, your equipment or emergency meds or whatnot, you get over there. So like I get water buckets over there and pitchforks. I'll get like a little wheelbarrow over there because it's actually going to be cheaper to buy it over there than to haul it on the plane. And then you can also store your stuff over there with
nice.
Gellison. They'll store your stuff. So that's kind of a tip that I didn't know and would have been so helpful to know before I went over there. But yeah, the horse packing, you take the essentials and then you just shove it in there. And then for yourself. So for me, I took 2 full huge suitcases and then 1 carry-on. And sometimes it depends if you can pack your boots and your helmet and your horse's stuff, you'll have more room in your suitcases. Yeah. But in my case, I didn't have a ton of room in Fio, so I packed like 2 helmets and 1 pair of boots in my suitcases. So then you have to pack around that. And the laundry situation is mad. So sometimes the horse facilities will have laundry. Other times it is 1 laundromat in the middle of the city, and it is a dog-eat-dog world in there. Oh my gosh. I was more scared of going to the laundromat than going down center line for Olympic trials.
What? Stop it.
I can see it. I can see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, it's a thing.
It's a war.
Laundry's a thing.
It's a war. Yeah,
it's a thing.
Absolutely. And then
you're like up at 5 a.m. You're like, I got this.
100%.
I'm going to work out.
That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. I would do my laundry at 6 a.m, go do my lesson, and then come back. I mean, you have to get strategic. And then
you're like, I'm smarter than you.
Yeah. And then all of these places, horse riding is so normal in Europe. So every laundry machine also has a big picture with a red X that says no horses. you have to find the laundromats with horse laundry too. And it's usually 1. And you always saw horse people in there and saddle pads. And I mean, one guy, like, I love him, God bless him, but he was a homeless gentleman sleeping there. And he knew I was a foreigner, and he came over and cornered me and asked me to find his long lost son in Utah on my phone. And
oh my gosh,
what hour I was doing this. And then I couldn't figure it out. I really tried. And then my friend who came as a groom, she got her hair sniffed. A guy was sniffing her hair every time he passed by her.
Okay, this is so weird. The things you don't know about training in Europe, guys.
No,
now we're learning.
Yeah, and then my groom, Michael, went, and God bless him. I mean, he was like, I would rather wash my clothes in my sink every day. He's like, don't take me back there.
I'm not going. No.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was intense. So yeah, get ready you
laundry.
Have to figure out things, get ready for laundry, but just little stuff like that all the time. You're not at your home. It's not. And Europe is also, we stay in small villages, so we're not in cities. Everything's closed on Sunday. So you better have all your stuff you need by the weekend. It's just not quite as convenient. But then it's a little less busy. So, their quality of life is probably better because you see them on bikes all the time, and they take Sundays off, and they have bank holidays. But if you're traveling, it is definitely less convenient for you.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really hard, actually. Yes, that's the thing. It's really hard. But you can go to horse shows. I mean, that's why I think on Sundays, the horse shows are lots of fun. And so if you are over there, and there's food. I mean, it's way different than our horse shows. There's food and vendors.
It's a festival. It's a main sport. It's like going to a basketball game. I mean, not as many spectators, of course, but it's a normal sport for them. It's mainstream. So it's horses and horse riders are celebrated, and everybody knows what dressage is. Here, they just think it's like some kind of food.
Well, I don't know. Snoop Dogg has helped out. Snoop Dogg and Martha. Love them. I know. Love them. Go for it.
Snoop Dogg's making us pop off.
Yeah, we are. We're like famous now.
I know. It's amazing. It's got to keep it going. The Versage.
Oh, yeah, the Versage. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
And the drivers. I think you talked about the drivers. Oh, my gosh. Well, we have veered off, and I have got to hear about what was it like to ride at Aachen.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Going down that center line.
What was your favorite
Yes.
moment?
Okay, so everybody knows I'm a freestyle girly, so obviously the freestyle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Aachen is the best of the best. And I've heard this from everybody. I've heard this from Isabel and Stefan, like everybody who has been to the Olympics, WEG, World Cups, everybody still says that Aachen is their favorite show. And when you go there, you can tell why. It's like the Masters in golf. It is just the most beautiful, like most prestigious place, and the vendors are unimaginably
Unbelievable.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
unbelievable.
gosh.
It's like football fields of vendors.
It's like football. Yes, it's a football field of vendors. It takes you like a full week to get through. The jumping stadium is world class. I mean, it's huge. The fans are so educated. Everybody's there. I mean, and a lot of times, like in American sports, we leave by the fourth quarter, or we don't go to the opening, or we don't go to the finishing ceremonies for whatever. Here, they are early. They stay the whole time. They are fans the whole time. They are there till the closing ceremony, till the very end. And it's such an incredible experience, because I truly don't know what other event is like that, really, kind of besides the Masters in golf. It's so special. And to be invited there, and for this to be my third time, and my first time on Fiantini, a horse who like really catches eyes, was so special. So yeah,
gorgeous.
my favorite memory was the freestyle, and you have to qualify for the freestyle. Last year, Diva, I haven't even said this, but she had a really bad allergic reaction to the shavings. And so she got through the special because she was feeling good. Her energy was down, and I was just like, that's good for her. She did her absolute best. And she just missed out on the freestyle. And so it's one thing I've never gotten to do, is a freestyle in Aachen. And Theo and so it was a little bit of a tricky show, because we were peaking for Olympic trials, right? So we had to do 2 competitions for Olympic trials, and they take the highest scorers average from those 2 shows. And I'm sure we'll get to later why we didn't make the Olympics, but we didn't make it. And we got invited to Aachen. So it was a little bit of a, like, I peaked her exactly for Kronberg, and then to have to like figure out how to take her down and peak her again for Aachen was just a little close. So it was pretty tricky. And that was just why, like, our scores weren't as high as I know they can be, just because we were hoping to go to the Olympics, but we made the best of exactly. And that's where I'm like, I don't feel that disappointed, because Aachen is that special. So Absolutely. It was amazing. And again, at the end of the stories that I'm getting to is, so our scores were a little bit tricky. It was our 4th show together. So we just had mistakes in places, but she was brilliant. And on the special day, you have to be top 18 to make the freestyle. And she was 19th place. And so we were just so bummed. And we literally were packing up. I was gone somewhere, and someone called, and they were like, someone dropped out, you're 18th. And I have a video of it. We like screamed in my car and we celebrated. And it put a completely new perspective on the freestyle, because we were just like, okay, first of all, we haven't practiced this thing in 6 months, because we were focused on the Grand Prix special. And we were like, we're not putting any pressure on this. We're going to go out there and show her off and show the world what she can do, and just go have fun. And it was one of the funnest tests of my life. And I'm so excited for the future.
Your smile was so huge. It was beautiful. I mean, I'm always fan for like Anna, and like loving it, liking it. I'm like, how do I love this more? Like, it was so awesome.
Thank you.
It was so fun.
It was awesome. And it was the first time, because the whole year, we're just being careful, because we're trying not to make mistakes, because we're trying to, make a team. And only having done a couple shows together, you can't push it ever. So that was the first test I've ever pushed her, and like did real extensions and did, big movements. And I mean, it was amazing to hear the crowd. Like when she did her trot extensions, you hear them gasp. And then she like, and then I don't know how much I'm supposed to push her, because I've never done it before in a test. So I pushed a little too much, and she like did a little canter step, and you hear the crowd go, oh,
yeah. We're all riding with you.
Yeah, 100%. So, but it was just cool to see the reaction that she can get out of a crowd. And I just got so many messages about how they loved her. And to me, I mean, the most important thing is the harmony between my horse and I, and that people see the friendship we have. And I don't know how many dozens of people came up to me and have said, I've watched this horse since she was 4 years old. She's my favorite horse. I've never seen her happier or more calm or trained better, because it's a very public training space. So you see every inch of my training. And I'm not someone who needs to hide their training ever, which I'm really proud of. And everybody got to see how I train her every single second, even maybe like in the miscommunication parts when I don't get my changes or what happens. Like, you get to see how I corrected and how I, we're patient with each other and how we work through it. And everybody, so many people, like reporters and a lot of well-known riders, they were just like, I've never seen this horse this happy. So that to me is more important than the Olympics.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh,
that's wonderful. How do you deal with the mental aspect and that pressure on you?
Yeah, it's intense, and it gave me a completely new perspective watching the Olympics. Because we're all sitting on our couch like, oh man, you couldn't just stick your landing on the beam,
Yeah, like, it's like the width of my fingernail. Like, what the heck?
Exactly. Like, gosh darn it, Simone.
Yeah. Greatest of all time. Wrong with you.
Exactly. As I eat my Lay's potato chips.
Yeah, girl. I'm there. Have a little hummus with that potato chip.
Yes. So the mental aspect is, there's so much pressure. And I think, again, if there's people listening to this whose goal is to ride at a high level, you need to start preparing now. Because I have to say, I have never been in a better place mentally for Olympic trials, the most pressure-filled situations I've ever been in my life. I've never been in a better spot mentally, but it's only because of the work I've put in for years and years and years. Like, I have been in such terrible mental spots that I went off course when I was supposed to win a test, and I missed my 2 tempies at the end of my championship test and came in second, whatever. But all of the days you're putting in the work to stay calm, to keep breathing, to focus on you and your horse, to not worry about people, scores, what people are thinking, even what the judges are thinking. All of those years really have a compound effect to they come into play when you need them most. The more you practice them, the more you learn to focus and find where your focus is and how you focus best. You will be able to do it at higher and higher levels. So when I remember going down the center line in Hagen, my first Olympic trial, it was on the second day. We got a bad draw, and everybody was just waiting to see what we would do because we're the West Coast kids. And everybody's from the East Coast, and there's this crazy thought that people think the East Coast scores higher than the West Coast, when in fact, I've always gotten the lowest scores on the West Coast. But we'll save that for later. But, everybody's waiting to see us. And it was so much pressure, but it's just like routine at that point. You just go in there and you do what you've practiced for hours and hours and hours and thought about your entire life, and you go in there and you do it. And the pressure doesn't overtake you. There's always pressure. It's always going to be tricky. You always have to fight for control of your brain and your thoughts. But the more you're able to work on controlling your thoughts in a positive way, the more you'll be able to not be controlled by them, if that makes sense.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So Anna, what's for the rest of the summer? Like, what's going on with you girls now?
Yes. So I'm actually dropping my merch line tomorrow, which is a dream come true. Yeah.
Stop. Say more. I didn't know this.
Yes. So I started my own brand. Did we get the first
announcement? Whoa.
100% you do.
Yay!
Stop it. Oh, guys, we're going to have to.
I told you I loved you guys.
Okay. All right. I just had a moment of fandom. Okay. Tell us all about it.
Yes. So I've always dreamed of having my own brand and, making what I do a huge, and who I am, like representing that in a physical way. And I created my brand in March, and we started to dream and create. And so we're doing just a very simple, really cute, signature line with my color is burgundy because Sunday Boy's color was burgundy. And he was my Hart horse. He's the reason I do this sport. He passed away suddenly from an infection, but his color is what I will carry through with me with the rest of my career, the rest of my life. And he's like, hopefully he can inspire other people as much as he inspired me. And, hopefully that color carries through with all the inspiration and encouragement I want to give people. And so we're dropping hats, t-shirts, and like a tumbler tomorrow.
Ooh,
and
so
I'm so excited. And I had a bunch of riders in the community come over, and they helped me with the photo shoot. And it just represents that the dream I have of dressage, of all equestrian sports, just to be more of a community, be about supporting each other and having fun and making sure that we do this because we love horses, not because we want to use them for our gain or anything.
Say it again. I love it.
And where can we find this line?
Yes. So I also am dropping my website, annabufini.com. And then there'll be a link on my website, or you can just go straight to annabufini.shop and it'll be up there. And this is just the beginning. We have some really, really cool clothing lines coming up and just things for horse people made by a horse person.
Oh, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be the best shopper. Okay. One more time, Anna, your website, how can everybody follow on you online? Because you're such an inspiration. We always love
Thank you. So annabufini.shop is the merch website, and then Anna_Buffini on Instagram and Anna Buffini on TikTok, which is a really fun one.
I love it. Maybe I'll get on TikTok just for you.
TikTok's pretty fun.
I feel like it's for the young people, but I may jump on just to see you, Anna.
No, TikTok's for everyone.
Well, as always, thank you so much for coming on. I didn't even know this. This was a surprise for us too. So it's thrilling that we got to be a part of it. So good luck on your new venture, and we will keep fangirling you as well.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you.
As horse owners, we spend a lot of time on the road. Let US Rider help keep you covered. Our Equestrian Motor Plan offers fast, reliable, nationwide service from our highly trained roadside assistance team. 24/7 coverage for both you and your horse. Membership includes horse trailer servicing, towing, flat tire repair, even on dual wheels, battery assistance, and lockout service on any vehicle in your plan. We also have your equine companions covered with referrals for emergency vet services, farrier referrals, and emergency stabling assistance. Get peace of mind on the road for you and your horse. Join US Rider today.
Well, tonight we are thrilled to have now 5-time Olympian Rebecca Hart. She is a para dressage rider. Becca, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me back on.
Oh, girl, you know it. I love it. Whenever you can come on, I am thrilled. So I was so happy we could grab you before you head over to Paris.
I know, it's coming up so quick.
I know. So, first of all, you have moved farms, and now, you're just packing for the Olympics. So how is all this going?
It has been a whirlwind of a couple of months. We had Flora and Tex in Europe for the final selection trials for Paris, and that went amazingly well. It was so fun to be with my other two teammates, Kate and Fiona, over there competing, and Beatrice de la Valette as well, and just getting to really represent before the games and get out there. And then we came home, as you said, and we have switched farms. We're now at Rowan O'Reilly's beautiful Roasis in Wellington, Florida. And it's been a crazy whirlwind of coming back from Europe and then moving into a new place. But the horses are so happy here, and we're training and getting ready to leave in like 2 weeks. Actually, not even a week and a half.
Wow.
Tell us about your horse.
What's your story?
So I've got Flora T, and I've had Flora. Her nickname is Flora. Mm-hmm. She was an able-bodied horse. She actually did the Pan Am Games with Lindsay Kellogg, and they had kind of stepped down from high-performance able-bodied competition, and it was through a mutual friend, Lauren Spreiser, called me and said, I have the perfect horse for you. And I was like, well, I'm not really looking at the moment. And she's like, no, really, I think you need to go look at this horse. And we went out and tried her, and it was just like a match made in heaven. And I've had her for a year now, and she is the most kind, like go get 'em kind of mare I've ever had. She was, as I said, an able-bodied horse for her entire life. Mm-hmm. And normally for a horse like that has had such high level kind of performance history, it takes them a while to kind of figure out para because they're so used to the able-bodied cues. And I got on Flora, and she's kind of like, oh, okay, that's weird, but I can work with that. And that was the first ride. And I went, I feel so safe and so confident on this mare. She is delightful. I ran, and our team coach, Michelle Asseline, was coming in for the Wellington CPDI. And then we also do like a training camp. And I brought him over. I was like, do you have a minute to come look at a horse that I'm looking at? And he said, sure. So he looked at her and he was like, yes, that walk is fantastic. I'm in. I think this is a great combination. So we brought her in and we did a bit of a trial, and I had her for literally, I think, 3 days. And we're going, and they were having the high performance training camp at our barn before the CPDI. And I was like, can I ride Flora in that so that I can get some good feedback from Sarah, who was a 5-star para judge? Mm-hmm. And they said yes. And I rode through a test with her, which is like unheard of. Normally I won't even start to do test work with a new horse for about 6 months. I just like to figure out cues and everything. And this is literally ride 4. And Sarah's like, this is fabulous. I think, like, are you taking her to the CDI? And I was like, actually, this is my 4th ride on her. So no, we're not doing the CDI. And Sarah's like, I want you to do the CDI. Like,
you're like,
that feels real fast forwarded. So it's like kind of a mutual agreement. I was like, how about I do it like test of choice on course type thing where I can go and just do a test ride. And we did that, and it was actually hilarious because had I actually ridden her in that, she would have won the class. It was
so cool.
She was so good, and I actually think our Wellington arena is one of the most intense arenas that you can ride in because it's so kind of on top of you. So it was a really great confidence builder for me with a new horse to kind of go into an arena that I know is a challenging horse or a challenging space for a lot of horses, and just have her be like, I don't know what your body is doing up there, but I got you. Let's go do this. And she just took to it so quickly. You tell her something one time and she goes, oh, is that how we're doing it now? Great. No problem. Off we go.
And
she's such a professional. She's a delight.
Oh, I love it. So now tell us kind of what happens now. So we're about a week and a half out, you said, before you leave. So what happens now between now and the Paralympic Games?
So Roxy and I are still US based. Kate and Fiona and Bea, who is our alternate, or one of our alternates, they are all based in Europe. So Fiona and I will get picked up on the 17th with Dudacorp, and then we are going to fly out of Miami into Amsterdam. And then we will have about a week-long training camp just outside of Versailles, where the 4 of us, Kate, Fiona, Roxy, and myself, will be kind of all together, team building, really focusing on our goals for Paris. And then we will move into Versailles directly from that venue. We're only a couple miles away. And then we'll see what happens.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You're going to be amazing. That's what's going to happen.
Yes, we are. I'm going to manifest that. Absolutely.
Yes. You're 100%. So what is it like? I mean, this is your 5th Games. What is it like preparing? Like, does it get easier? Because I don't know if it would.
You know what? Yes and no. Yes, in that, like, because you have felt all of those emotions before, there's a maturity with doing multiple games that allows you to process those and handle them. But does it actually get easier? No, because those nerves are still there. My goals are still there. I want to go out and represent not only my country, but literally all the thousands of people that have helped me on my 30-year career at this stage. Go out there and, represent them as best as I possibly can, and to stand on that podium. It's such a unique experience. And I want to do it again.
Yes.
I want to watch that.
You're going to do it again.
Yeah, we're going to do one.
You're going to do it again. What was your favorite Olympics to date, and why?
Oh, that's a good question. I have a couple different really special memories, and I can I give you kind of my top three?
Yes.
All right. So I have to say Tokyo, because that was just a lifelong tear-inducing. I'm still getting teary-eyed about it. Please hold my.
I'm getting teary-eyed.
And just like looking forward to like trying to go do it again in a couple of weeks. But I had wanted to stand on the podium for so long. And when you're at a big world championships, in particular a Paralympics, they have these beautiful medal ceremonies, and they have these wonderful volunteers that parade the medals out to the podium. And I've always remembered kind of being on the sidelines, cheering everyone on who had gotten the medals up to that point, and watching the medals go by on these beautiful platters and silk pillows. And I'm just like, oh, I want one of those. And I just remember being in Tokyo on that sideline again, but being in line to go to the podium going, oh, that's mine.
Yeah, I take it home.
I finally get to touch it. And it was, we weren't really supposed to do that in Tokyo. And it was through my amazing teammates that we kind of pulled off that performance. And I'm so proud of myself and of them and of Team USA, just for kind of the general growth of para over the last 25 years. So that was such a life fulfilling moment for me. So that I think has to be one of them. Oh, geez. And then I think I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, which was Beijing.
Yeah.
And that was I was a brand new team rider. I had never really done anything like that before. And we were all the way around the country. And it was the first time that para, not really. It was the first time for me that para was an own horse competition. And I just remember stepping off the plane in Hong Kong because of the quarantine rules. The horses had to be in Hong Kong. We couldn't go into Beijing and then take them out again. So we stepped off the airplane in Hong Kong, and that venue was just the most amazing kind of surreal moment of just culture and holy cow, I pulled this dream off. And here, that my dream at that stage was I was on the team, and here I did it. And it was that one was also kind of my origin story. And then I went, I want to do this again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have chills hearing that story. You're just like, oh my gosh, these are real people. And we've been talking about that today. You watch on TV and you can't even fathom. And to be able to talk to you guys, it's just so inspiring every time we talk together. I'm just always so inspired and just watching it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Becca. She's on the podium. It's so fun to watch and to see. And we really cannot wish you guys enough luck. We're thrilled. So can you tell us just a little bit about your teammates as well as kind of our final question?
Yeah. So I've got an amazing group of athletes and women representing with me. Kate Shoemaker, bit of a veteran, and Roxy, who's obviously a double gold medalist. and has got an amazing new young horse. Actually, we've got a team of pretty new horses going over, which is quite exciting to see kind of the development of new partnerships, and watching veteran riders be able to have a system that works for them and bring those horses out in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah.
And then we've also got Fiona, who is an amazing kind of new rider for us. And she's based with Kate in Europe right now. And she's just done an amazing job in grade 2. So it's super exciting because for the first time in kind of our history as a team, we are being talked about as not only, podium potential, but potentially we could get that gold medal. And it's so exciting to get to talk about it. And I'm like, can I talk about it and not jinx it? Oh goodness. Like,
you're going to get it.
We're gonna
cheer you on
really hard to go get that.
Yes. So we know you will. Oh my gosh. It's going to be thrilling to watch.
If everyone goes and has the days that they are capable of, that is a totally touchable goal. And that is wildly exciting.
That's so cool to say. And tell us what days you're actually competing, because it's still a little bit of time by the time you guys get the horses and get over there.
We do. We have about 10 days. So we'll move into the venue on the 3rd. We move on to the venue on the 31st, and then we'll actually start competing with the jog and everything on the 3rd. And then depending on what grade you are, it's September 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 7th.
Fantastic. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, Becca, how can we follow along on your journey?
You can follow us, me personally, on Instagram. And then also I know that USA Dressage and USA Para Dressage are also putting out information on the team. And then all the other riders also have their handles on Instagram and Facebook that you can follow all their individual stories.
I'm just hoping Snoop Dogg comes to Para too. I'm just saying. I'm going to put it out there.
You know what? I think we should do that.
I think that would be so cool.
Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart is a little group. I think we should rock the Para side.
I love it. We should put a request in.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Fantastic. Well, Becca, as always, we so love having you on the show, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
So Reese, I want to hear about your new business adventure. I've seen your post on Facebook, and I'd love to hear all about it.
Well, thanks, girl. Well, we've actually been talking about this a lot between you and I for probably a year, just kind of talking about the challenges of owning a barn and the stresses that trainers are under, but just anybody in the horse industry. And I'm sure there's lots of people out there that are nodding their heads right now of how challenging this is and how challenging it is to own horses and want to compete. And one of the things that I've been known for kind of over my career, and it's partly because horse trainers, really, we have to be kind of a inventive breed, is sort of, I have a lot of side gigs to make things work, right? And they've really become just things that I love. Obviously it's the podcast here, that we get to come and speak with you guys. And, I've had the joy of doing that now for 12 years. And I teach at the University of Kentucky. So I actually have a master's degree in international commerce and diplomacy. So one of the things that I've been doing a lot is coaching friends and colleagues and moms for a while. And I just decided, I thought, gosh, there's no real, there are some resources for coaching for sure, but I felt like I needed to provide a program of coaching and consulting. So I started it. I just decided one Sunday, this is what happens when I have an actual day off, is I start a new business. But I think people need mentors, and they need people that have been there and have done that. And I certainly do not claim to have all the answers of owning an equine business, but I've helped a lot of people kind of find their way, either if it's with a MagnaWave company or my assistant for the summer, she is really good at sewing. And I was like, why don't we start a little business and get you going at the university and fix some. And I was her best customer this summer because I had a bunch of things that needed to be mended. I'm like, why are you not starting this little side gig and doing that?
I love it. What can you help consult? Like syndications?
Yeah.
Producing a business plan? What other?
Yes.
What
Absolutely.
other services?
All of the above, basically.
Oh.
All of the above. I can actually help someone do a business plan. A lot of horse people, as we know, are not great business people.
No.
Not saying that I'm great either, but I have a lot of resources that I can help. And this is what I do at the University of Kentucky. I teach literally a class in global sport horse industry. So I already do this. I already have my students do a budget. We already learn how to market ourselves. We already learn how to create business plans. All of these things I sort of already do. So it's just a way to offer it to people. I started a hay business this year on my farm and I figured out how to do that because I had some property that I didn't feel like I was being very efficient.
I love it.
Yeah. And my undergrad degree actually is in agriculture economics. So I do know about farms as well, funny enough. And so I just thought I would help people and just be available as a mentor and a resource. And a lot of the students that have already called me are not necessarily dressage people. There are some dressage people, but I've had Western people, Western discipline call me. It just, all the numbers are similar. And
business is business. Yeah, I think it's fabulous.
Yeah. And somebody called me how to start a podcast. I was like, I know the people.
Call Reese.
Yeah.
Call Reese.
Well, call Glenn and Jennifer. I have numbers. And I love to connect people. And so if I can help you, and again, we can bring some resources onto the show too. I think a lot of trainers and Megan and I have seen it with our own friends. We have friends that are leaving the business because the numbers just aren't working out. And if I can help somebody figure out a way to make their dream happen, just by, hey, let's have some goals and let's hit these goals and let's meet again. Like, for example, I looked at a student's Facebook page. I didn't even know she was a horse trainer from her Facebook page. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes just having someone from the outside kind of look in and say, oh, hey, come on, let's do these simple steps. And I hope I can do that. And I hope I can help people in the industry stay in the industry, or help them syndicate horses to make that affordable. We've got some good resources out there now to do that. Or how do you handle sponsors? You and I have been doing this a long time. And, if I don't know the answer, I will have a great network. Megan's in that network of also trainers that if I don't know, I can help you figure it out. And so here we go. So, if anybody wants to get a hold of me, Facebook is a great way. You can also email me here at Reese@horseradionetwork.com. And let me see if I can get a crack and help you. And before you just hang up the towel and don't want to do horses anymore, or, we're losing boarding stables left and right. And sometimes kind of looking at those numbers and having a cheerleader and a mentor, I think sometimes it's hard. It's huge. And Megan and I, we were at this conference, 15 years ago, and we have a great network of friends that we can call upon. And, I hope that I can provide that if somebody doesn't have that, kind of provide that. So shoot me an email, shoot me a Facebook, and we'll make it. It's really individual for what people need at that time. And I hope I can see this kind of moving forward and just also just a service to the industry. So thanks for asking. And I hope I can help some people, really, truly. Well, Megan, I just want to remind everybody that Riding Through with Debbie McDonald is our book club of the month. Get reading, everybody. It's fantastic. It's actually the quarter. And we're going to have Debbie on soon to talk about it. And it's Riding Through with Debbie McDonald. It's fabulous. I actually finished it over the weekend. I was kind of watching the Olympics and reading the book. and drinking some coffee and hanging out with my dog. It was a delight. So I hope everyone is enjoying reading that book. It's really a good one. And I've particularly enjoyed it because I have a young horse, and there's a whole chapter on young horses. And I literally was like writing notes of like, oh yeah, I need to do this and do this. So I particularly liked that chapter because I'm doing that. As always, you can find our show notes and links to today's guests on our page at horseradionetwork.com. Search Dressage Radio Show. Like us on Facebook, just search Dressage Radio Show. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
And my website is lindenhoff.com, and my email is lindenhoffllc@gmail.com. We would like to thank our friends and sponsors, Kentucky Performance Products. If you'd like to support our show and the Horse Radio Network, you can do that through the auditor program found at thehorseradionetwork.com. Keep on kicking on until the next show. Talk to you soon.